Oh no, I feel bad now. Thank God I saved a minute ago. Ah. What's going on, party animals? It's your boy Kai, the man, the myth, the legend, the hot one. And we're we're back with part two of Discentra. Uh, so to give you all the synopsis, the people who haven't watched the first one, which if you didn't, you should, or else none of this will make sense. But we got we're a pup. We're a wolf pup. We somehow got into the woods. Uh, we met this quote unquote ghost girl. I say it is a ghost girl. Basil says it isn't, which is the main character, which is the main character here. I'm not gonna explain the rest. Watch it, and I will. Uh, we got trapped. We almost got attacked by vipers. Wasn't fun. And yeah. So yeah, without further ado, let's get back into it. The night nursing the dregs of my fever. When I first woken up, I didn't take notice of how much had already been said. But now vague memories of violating hands surface my thoughts. Did the girl Dove give me some kind of medicine during the height of my fever? My body is still aching. My body still feels uncomfortable. My body still feels uncomfortably warm. I rest my hand on one arm and glance at the one that had been hurt earlier. A clean bandage, which is firmly wrapped around it. Not enough to cut off the blood flow, but enough to restrict its movement. Was this also Dove's handiwork? I sigh softly through my nose, then close my eyes. Time passes ambiguously in this cage. With not even a reference, I don't know if it's in mere hours or days. A bowl of water sits in the corner of my cage. I know from the dryness in my throat that I need to rehydrate, and have yet to muster up the courage to approach the bars that slither and rattle every so often. When I'm desperate enough to finally quench my thirst, the bars relievingly keep their metal forms. Feeling better now, I curl into a ball, and my tail cradles my face. I want to go home. Exhaustion catches up to me once again. I fall asleep on crusty metal and wake up on dusty wood. The sound of wind chimes lures me into consciousness. My eyes snap open, and cradle my retinas, and my retinas are immediately burned by the color that floods into them. On the floor in front of me is a kaleidoscope of lights. Created by the morning sun, a stark contrast to the dark and dreary setting I was previously confined to. Quick, it's daytime. Run. Maybe I dreamed it all in a feverish haze. I feel the gauze around my arm. It's still there. A weight around my neck brings me back into focus. A collar is secured around my throat. Attached to it is a long, heavy chain that leads to the leg of a large wardrobe in the corner of the room. The bedroom. I take in my latest cage. There are no longer venomous bars to keep me, but the state of confinement has not changed. My eyes move from the rainbows on the floor to the line of the chain restraining me, then to the rest of the room. I look at the windows and find swirling murals and expressive paintings of various creatures and monsters. The sun behind them illuminates the floor with speckles of color like a stained glass window. Past the frame of the window, oh, I need to get back. Ah, that sounds so cool. This retractable shit. Note to self: get stained glass windows. Ha- Past the frame of the windows, the drawings continue in nonsensical scrawl. Less art decorates the walls, but shelves with cracked plant pots and hanging tangles of vine and ivy take their place. Dirty cups and bowls sit forgotten in a dark corner. I briefly note two shallow dishes near where I lay. They look like they would be used by a pet. Judging that pet is you, Bucko. Judging from the surprising lack of grime from under them, it hasn't been long since they were last used. Dusty books and crumpled parchment litter the floorboards. Taking up half the room is a canopied bed. Dark curtains are pulled tightly together, preventing me from seeing inside. The sound of scratching captures my attention. I drag my gaze past a pile of books. They're sitting on a raggedy blanket, hunched over and scribbling over the print in a book is Dove. She gnaws on her lip and pinches her brows. I can hear her whispering something to herself. No, no, no. That won't work. I slowly lift myself off the floor, cringing at the sound of clanking chains following my movement. Dove makes no acknowledgement of my presence, so I continue approaching her. When I'm closer to her back, I'm able to get a better look at what she's furiously writing. Scribbles of occult symbols make the words on the pages completely illegible. I swallow a lump in my throat. The collar around my neck feels very heavy right now. Dove suddenly tears a page out from the book. The jarring sound makes me jump and I slam into a tower of books, sending it toppling to the floor. Dread weighs heavily on me. I look back at Dove. She's now staring at me with wide eyes. You're awake? I release a small yelp and stare at her dumbfounded. She's brighter. She is adorable, I ain't gonna lie. This is little sister right here. Or maybe it's the luminous light filtering through the bedroom window. Something about it paints her in a rose-tinted lens that makes my wariness waver. Same here. That feeling instantly vanishes when she gets up and rushes towards me. I run away as fast as my legs allow me, but my air supply is abruptly cut off, and I'm thrown off my feet. A sharp howl is pulled from my throat. I look behind me and see the chain of my collar is pulled taut. I had reached its limit. I then see Dove standing in the spot I had bolted from. Her gaze creeps along the chain, making its way to my crumbled form. Icy blue eyes stare into mine, and I shudder. It feels like she had unraveled me through sight alone. She looks at me like she knows. Then she perks up, snapping the tension away. Oh, right, you're probably starving. The others were also very skittish when they had empty bellies. Others. You know, my boy Ricky did disappear one time. We never did see him again. Hey, who else you had here? Her voice trails off, though she becomes lost in thought. She starts weaving through the mess of book piles to reach the bedroom door. Wait here. I don't have much of a choice. Dove returns with a bread roll and a bowl. Can dogs eat? Are wolves allowed to eat bread? What animals can eat bread? Dogs are like wolves. Wolves are like hyper carnivores. Can they eat bread? Would bread even do anything for them if they could eat it? That's a topic I'll have to ask Casual Geographic. She sets the bowl down a couple of feet in front of me and retreats back to chew on her own food. I tentatively approach it. Where'd you get this bread from? The bread smells like heaven. I lick my lips on instinct. It must have been ages since I last ate because I watched her tear chunks from it and mark every little crumb falling onto her white dress with yearning. I look down at the bowl she left for me. The sight of red, fleshy chunks greets me. Raw meat. She gave me a bowl of raw meat. I can't eat it. What kind of bougie wolf are you? I'm sorry. Your brother said, what kind of wild animal do you take me for? Or well, maybe I could. The idea of it has nausea coursing through me. I stare at the, I stare at the flesh, I stare at the fresh blood pooling at the bottom of the bowl. Then I glance over at the bread, then back to the bowl, feeling conflicted. This low-key be like when you give your dog food, and they see you eating a burger from Five Guys or something. It's like, well, this doesn't seem fair now, does it? My stomach growls. I can feel saliva start to drip down to the side of my mouth. I can't do it. Are you gonna let it go to waste? Jesus. Dove's voice comes from right above me, and fear flows in my stomach. Okay then. My eyes snap up. Dove reaches for me and I flinch, skittering away. She kneels in front of the bowl and dips her hand into it, crushing a fistful of squishy red meat between her fingers. She brings the raw meat to her mouth. Bile rises in my throat and I watch her chew through the raw flesh and swallow with a sickly gulp. She covers her mouth with the back of her hand and gags, then looks at me. She smiles at me, her teeth stained in a glistened red. What a horrible taste. Oh, hell no. Oh, no, no, she did take Ricky. He was always into the crazy ones. A thin stream of blood falls from the corner of her mouth. I suppose you'd like something a little more appetizing. She gags again, then runs out of the room. I hear the sound of her retching from another room. Dove returns to the new bowl, with what looks like stew. I inspect it thoroughly, checking for insects or anything inedible. When I surmise that there is nothing of the sort, I dig in greedily. My eyes begin to sting after the first few bites. The stew is so bland. What kind of bougie animal are you? What do you mean the stew is bland? Brother, you eat seasoning? This means you are a wolf. You never had seasoning a day in your life. The stew is so bland. Makes me yearn for my grandmother's cooking so bad. Okay, yeah, no, that's the werewolf. From the corner of my eye, I could see Dove watching me like a hawk. Like a single blink is enough to make me vanish. If only I could. As I finish eating the stew, a soft thudding captures my attention. I look back to see my tail wagging against the floor. I feel myself shrink with embarrassment. I immediately cease its movement, but not before Dove takes notice. Looks like you're angry with me. Her eyes move to my arm. Does it still hurt? I stare at Dove, then hesitantly put my weight on my wrapped up arm. The sharp pain is mostly gone, but a dull ache still remains. If the opportunity for me to run away came, I could probably do it, but not without difficulty. I make a frustrated whine. Dove sits and helps at me, considering my reply. She approaches me again, slowly this time. I hold my breath as she comes close, her hands hovering near the pillow around my neck. Okay. Just brass tacks. She can't hear the replies we make. All the stuff we're saying, this is in our head. We can't communicate with her other than wolf speak. For anybody that thought differently. I'm suddenly hyper aware of how quiet it is. There's no drum of rain, or crash of thunder to be heard from outside. Hope dares to grow inside my racing heart. Will you hurt me if I take it off? I stare at her blankly. Dove gives me a disappointed look and gnaws on her bottom lip. Her hands hover for a short moment, then she nods. The weight of the collar lifts off my shoulders. Then I bolt. Hey, in my defense, she said if I would hurt her. I never said I would. I never said I wouldn't leave. My swift escape shoves to the side. Barely see her get thrown to the floor as I make for the open bedroom door. Dove, oh no, I feel bad now. Thank God I saved a minute ago. Ah! Dove makes a panic noise behind me. It fades out my rush to leave it behind. I'm back to a hallway where the horrors began. And you go back to the kitchen. I sprint to the stairs. Then slowly I'm skidding to a stop where a wall meets me at the end of a hall instead of a staircase. I start in confusion. Did I go the wrong way? I look around the hall. I don't remember seeing this many doors. A stinging feeling arouses in my gut. I run down a new hallway. Then turn to another. Then another. My recollection of the man was touched when I first arrived. Maybe I can't remember everything well enough. I swear, these are not the same halls I walked through before. After I turned to a hallway number 15, damn, this new labyrinth, the sound of something new being dragged cuts through my thoughts. Look behind me, fear pulsing in my veins. A ghostly figure slowly walks down the cross section of another hall. Oh heavens to Betsy! That's not Dove, is it? Like your true form? Long hair protrudes from its head, wearing down to the floor stifly like straw, and hiding most of its long, thin limbs. I watch it disappear around the corner, completely frozen in my spot. Other ghosts I've never seen one this corrupted before, and I'll feel extremely vulnerable, like a beacon standing in the long and open corridor. A tapping noise is next. My heart pounds violently in my chest as I search for the sound. I immediately see another ghost heading straight for me. I yelp and crush myself against the wall as if it will make me invisible. Jesus! The ghost staggers towards me, with its bony knees knocking together. A thin veil curtains its upper body, and something that resembles a bird's beak peeks out of its chest. The closer it gets, the better I'm able to make out the detail of its leathery skin and beady bloodshot eyes that dapple across its face above the rotting beak. Needle-thin arms bent sharply at the elbow reach back behind the ghost's head. It balances on its elbows and pulls itself forward on them. I make myself paper thin and shiver when part of its elbow brushes against one of my paws. I start breathing again when it passes quietly, then back into the intersection of the hallways. Another ghost almost tramples me. Jesus Christ. Ah, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, nice to meet you. Two ghosts follow one another down the path of the bird-like ghosts. One is a cluster of what looks like fungi and twisting fabric that melts into the body flesh. A stringy network of mycelium trails behind it. The other ghost creates a sound of glass crunching together with every steady step it takes. Its arms stick out like pieces of wood that lightly sway as it walks. Where its face should it be is a void. Bam! Framed by jagged, broken pieces of porcelain skin. You can still make out the raggedy maid uniform that clings to its bloated form. I follow the ghost in a trance. Like a line of schoolchildren, they walk a well-known path. Normally when a ghost is corrupted from being trapped in the land of the living, every semblance of their humanity is lost. Where do these ghosts stop to with so much purpose? To navigate the hallways without hesitation, twisting and turning through a route already well worn. And so painfully easily, I've been led back to the kitchen. I see Dove standing on the kitchen table, delicately twisting an incandescent bulb into the hanging light fixture. Dry black tears stain her cheeks, but her expression betrays no sign of dejection. Hi. Another bulb is held loosely in her other hand. This one has been burnt out so bad that no light can penetrate its ashy blackened surface. It took 40 years to develop this type of filament. The ghosts around her. I watched them reach for her, and I opened my jaws to bark out a warning, but I choke in my rising panic. Dove doesn't notice them, and continues to screw in the bulb. I read these bulbs can stay lit for up to 1200 hours. Claws brush against her skirt. And yet, after less than a week, their legacy of lighting the dark has been snubbed out forever. With one last turn of her wrist, light envelops the room. Something so wonderful. Dove stares at the bulb's light, and her fingers caress the glass. Almost breaks in a place like this. Only breaks in a place like this. The ghosts have vanished. Dove gives no hints of awareness for the presence that had just left them. My blood thuds in my ears. Could she not see them? I look at the door that I had to use to enter the mansion. I hear Dove dust off her hands and toss the old bulb into a box, where it shatters amongst other pieces of glass. She sighs wearily. How long will this cycle continue for? I barely hear her words. Instead, I stare at the wall, where the back door should be, and there's no door. I immediately freak out. Run to the wall, ignoring the ache in my arm, and scratch the old wallpaper, hoping the door was only behind it. My claws tear through wood. As I continue scratching, the outline of the door does not reveal itself. I back away, staring at the shred decoration and moving rapidly. It's not there anymore. Hold on, that's delicious. I turn my head and see Dove sitting on the kitchen table, swinging her legs. She stares at the wall I had torn up and gives me a blank expression. I explode. My body ignites with fiery rage as I growl and snarl at her. I can't pull a speech. It's too early in the morning for that shit. She frowns and her eyes turn downcast with guilt. I don't know how to get it back. Yeah, I'll be nicer. I whimper and go back to scratch the door in more desperation. I'm sorry. Enough. I'm tired of seeing you all in your despair. I reply with an indignant huff. I see Dove puff her cheeks in annoyance, turned my head, and rested on my paws. There's no way out. It's better for you to just accept it. A growl rumbles in my throat. Even the front door is gone, so instead of wasting time, you may as well follow me and keep yourself occupied. I wish I could cry. My ears lay flat against my skull. I let myself right into the mouth of a carnivorous flower, with the sweetness of shelter lure me in. I should have noticed the sharp teeth of the entrance. Take a peek at Dove. She's like a caged bird in this house. Doesn't she hate it? How could anyone possibly live like this? Her patience reaches its end as she slides off the kitchen table. I cry out when she hauls me off the ground and I bare my fangs at her, when she appears right before mine. My glare doesn't faze her. Follow, wolf. There is much to do. We return to the labyrinth of hallways. Dove seems to know her way around them well. Now that I'm not frantically running through them, I notice a huge difference in the manor's atmosphere. Less dirt coats the floor, certain lights illuminate the hallways, and it almost feels peaceful. Dove stops by a closet in the hallway. She grabs onto the handle of the door and opens up to reveal shelves and cupboards of miscellaneous tools and supplies. She climbs the stool to reach the highest shelf and retrieves a box with small buckets and brushes. I tense up at the sight of the stool beginning to sway back and forth. She climbs back down without issue before leading me into a room I recognize very quickly. She makes her way to the broken side table I spotted when I was first exploring the rooms of the mansion, and I take time to look around. A dining table with only 3 chairs takes up most of the room. Candles spike from the top like stalagmites. There's so many that I think they would render a fire hazard if they were all to be lit. Hardened wax drips over the edge. I can see the end of a fountain pen, as well as scraps of paper. I'm unable to see a well of ink from my position, but I assume that's what runs down the dusty tablecloth in darkened splotches. A glint catches my attention. On the other side of the room, I'm unsettled by the mirrors that cover the wall from floor to ceiling. I saw a lump that forms in my throat, and I do not let my eyes linger on them. I lay on the floor and watch her slather strongly scented glue on the broken leg of the table. She roughly connects the broken leg to the rest of the table and fans it with her hand so it dries faster. She tests its sturdiness with a light finger and scrunches her nose when it wobbles. She twists around and digs in her box, then pulls out a roll of twine with a bright expression on her face. My brows furrow together. Dove twirls the string around the leg and binds it tightly. When she's done, she sets the table straight again. It still rocks unsteadily, but it stays standing. That seems to be good enough for Dove, because she picks up her box again and gives it a nod. Oh. I leap from my spot on the floor and spin into a loud noise. In the corner of the room, the long-haired ghost from earlier stands bent over a broken vase. You. I flinch when Dove lets out a startled noise and starts to stride towards it. So you saw this bastard. You saw the ghost. You just couldn't be bothered. Okay. Hey, badass, Dove. Rocket, kid. I think that's a child. You know, that's a kid. Who knows? Maybe she's like 1,000 years old. She's like a ghost. She might be a ghost. No, how? What the fuck? What the fuck did they say? I bark in alarm. It's dangerous. She ignores me. Siri. I grab the back of her gown with my teeth to stop her. Dove's demeanor goes from angry to taken aback. She stops and looks down at me. I shock myself with my own action and quickly drop her skirt. Fucking Christ! Ah, God damn it! Shut up! Ah, God! Ah, fuck! Yeah! Fucking alarm went crazy. Okay, we're gonna ignore that. Dove considers me for a moment, then switches her attention back to the ghost and marches over to him. You klutz! My jaw drops. I don't need another person to clean up after. The ghost laces its long fingers together and bows its head. When Dove gets closer to it, she stumbles and cries out. The ghost snaps its head back up to her. Dove checks the bottom of her foot and sees a shard embedded in the flesh. Red bloobs with a small wound. Oh, so she is a human being. Okay. That's a little sister right there. The ghost makes a groaning sound and steps towards Dove. She hisses when it walks through the mess of glass and drags it with them. It's concerned for her. Are you like the ghost tamer or something? I observe the interaction feeling befuddled. Everything I know about corrupted ghosts is being challenged. I pause to think about how the ghost rushed to her side earlier. The ghost tugs on Dove's sleeve like it's asking for forgiveness. She continues to badger it while digging the shard out of her foot. I studied them curiously. It wasn't because they wanted to cause her harm. I trail behind Dove when she leaves to treat the small cut, and when she returns to clean up the mess, we leave the ghost, and Dove continues down whatever to-do list she has in mind. While she paints over the scratches on the kitchen door, trying to match the old wallpaper, she speaks to me. Have you met all of them already? She doesn't speak again until we run into another ghost. It waits in the hallway for Dove. She perks up when she sees what it's holding. Oh, thank you, Babel. She takes a small bundle of red roses from it, freshly torn from its bush. I follow her to a window, and I see a tall, thin glass vase with withered roses, and it's sitting on the sill. Dove takes out the dead flowers and replaces them. Then she pauses and looks down at something below. Ooh. Oh, her face reveals nothing as she tears her gaze away and makes her way down the hall again. Before following her, I stand on my haunches and try to peer out the window. A chill comes down on me when I look down to see a small patch of graves, each marked by a small wooden cross. Yee. Well, honey, you're surrounded by ghosts, so meh. I break away from the unnerving sight and turn towards the hall, where Dove had gone down. She stands at the end of the hall, waiting for me. The bird-like ghost name is Grell, and the doll-like ghost name is Odette. Dove introduces them officially when we run into them as we go around the manor, doing mundane tasks. It's a sight I can't get used to. I can't understand how a young girl can act so normal around such monstrous beings. Seeing the translucent, leathery skin or the fluids that drip from their decaying flesh is enough to send me reeling. To be fair, as long as they aren't violent. Listen, as long as they aren't violent, humans will become friends with anything as long as it doesn't try to kill them. Social creatures. But she does not flinch or fear. Earlier, when they had surrounded her in the kitchen, she could tell they were there, weaving their arms together to wrap her in a ghostly embrace. And she didn't care in the slightest. I start to think she's more disturbing than the ghost. To become this corrupted, they would have stayed trapped in this plane for a long time. Why are they still here? The horrific forms border on pitiful. To be this far gone, it has to be some type of hell. The Dove walks amongst them like they're her family, though. No, that's not quite it. I rearrange my thoughts. Maybe the image of the graves flashes in my mind. It's because she is theirs. I watch her guide Grell's gangly limbs out of the hallway so she can pass through, but they're nothing but an annoying sibling. A monster, just like them. Maybe this cage she lives in is of her own making. Does Dove? Dove does these errands like a routine, putting books away in the library and cleaning up candles burnt to the end of their wicks. By the time she finishes winding up a large grandfather clock in the hallway, the manor feels like a completely different place. The air is less stifled by dust particles, the rooms are brighter, and it feels like a home now. As we walk back to Dove's room, the sun begins to descend into the blazing orange horizon. In the evening, cicadas make their shrill voices heard. Despite the manor feeling more livable, there is a feeling it gives me that I cannot shake. A void that looms like a presence. It's like the letters left unfinished or tea half emptied and turning cold. There's a sense of stagnation that places the manor outside of time's reach, and it leaves like a noise that buzzes persistently in the air. Dove stops abruptly, and I almost trip over my paws, trying to not run into her. I take a peek from behind her and immediately let out a yelp. Oh, it's you. Them not even scissor hands. Them just shoelace hands. The very first ghost I met stands at the end of the hallway. Dove doesn't move. I see the ghost stagger down the hall towards us, and I instinctively back away. Then Dove speaks. It's okay. Her tone is not very convincing. The ghost gets closer and I can see the details of her leaking entrails. I make a whimpering sound and I hide behind Dove, keeping myself close to the wall. She's harmless. She doesn't do anything. I throw a quick glance at Dove when her voice falters. But watch. The ghost is right beside us. Its hollow eyes look down at Dove and she holds its unsettling gaze with cold eyes. I don't breathe. With the acrid smell of rot overwhelms my heightened sense of smell. The tension between Dove and the ghost creates a pressure that thins the air, making my lungs ache for oxygen. Pain seizes my chest just when I can no longer hold my breath in. The ghost continues down the hallway, passively. I exhale loudly. I startle when Dove clenches her fist beside me. Her eyes follow the ghost for a couple seconds longer. Then she cuts off her stare and moves on. I quickly chase after her, not wanting to be alone with this particular ghost again. Ever again, if my luck allows it. I look back for a split second and the ghost has disappeared. Dove's shoulders are squared as we return to her room. Since the sun is set in the opposite direction of her window, the scattering of colors from the morning is long gone. Her relationship with the hallway ghost is much different from the others. The way she spoke about her almost seemed resentful. I pad to a corner, stalling for a moment when I see the color from earlier on the floor. I narrow my eyes at it, and pick it up with my teeth, then I throw it at the far wall. I give the collar one last glare, then curl up on the floor. Dove settles cross-legged in the middle of her book towers, and reaches for a random text. I let out a big yawn, feeling heavy after the events of today. I don't know if there's enough time in the world to process everything that's happened to me since I left home. I close my eyes and feel the tendrils of sleep curl around me. Do you think people can come back from the dead? She asks it so quietly, I almost don't hear her. I think she expects an answer, and I cannot give her one. Dove's roses. Okay, so. Oh wait, I winced the bites. Oh wait, me. Okay, nice. Hold on. Let me. That's chapter 2, I guess. Okay, cool. You made it this far. Hopefully you all enjoyed, like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll probably do that next time. Bye bye.